Good morning, friends. Today we'll cover chapter 11, object graphs. So far we have been dealing with the Java Pojo classes with only primitive fields like long, double, or boolean, or a string. String, we already know that it's already implements serializable. So this was all quite naive and easy. But what if I have got a private field member, which is a reference to another class, which is made by us or by some other developer? What we mean is that suppose if I have got a private, say, a reference to, say, other object, or other class, whatever. Okay, like this. And so, what would be the implication of it? Whether the JVM would be able to serialize it or not. So this is what we will cover in this chapter. So just go with the theoretical part. The good thing is that the JVM will take care of serializing the whole object's entire object graph. What it means is that if we are having a private field member which is referring to another object, and that other object is also referring to some other references to some other objects, so the whole graph of this object references, the whole web of these objects would be automatically serialized by JVM. JVM will take care of a deep copy of everything that's the same objects needs to be stored. So this is a good thing. But the bad thing is that if any of these object references don't implement serializable, in that case, we will get exception. So this is what we will cover in this chapter, and let's dive into the code and write some unit test cases to understand it. So let me first of all change this, that we don't want this, and let me create a new chapter package. So I will do alt insert and package and call it as chapter 11 underscore say serialization with object graphs. Okay, I'm just writing this very descriptive name so that we know that which chapter we are in. Control C, I'll enter it, and similarly I'll create a new test package in test. So alt insert package Control V, chapter 11 serialization with object graphs. So let's copy this from the previous chapter 3. I'll copy this and Control V, Control C, Control V, and I will mark it as market data with reference objects maybe. Okay, market data with reference objects. So I copied this one, and let's first of all refine it a little bit. So we have to define one serial version UID. So I will do alt enter, create constant field, and we have got this version UID generated by IDE. And now let me create a private. I will just create a new class, and I will mark it as market data with provider maybe. Okay, this is a new class which I will create in a moment, and let's mark it as market data provider, and that's it. Let me remove first all those getters and setters. I will add it later on, and even the toString method. Let me change it. Okay, so we can see that it's I have to create it now. So I will do alt enter here and create class market data provider in the same package. Okay, I think by mistake it's created in the test package. Sorry. So I will just drag and drop here. Refactor. Okay. So right now we are in our source package, and let me create a very naive implementation of this. I will just have a private string name, one private field member as a string, and let me create one constructor here. Okay, name, and let's create some getters and setters. That's it. Getter and setter. There are only one. There's only one variable here, And let me create a toString method as well. Okay, so we created our own custom class, market data provider, with having only one private field as name, and we provided the constructor and getters and setters for it. Now let's go back here. So we have got our main class, which we will test for our serialization process, and we have declared a market data provider, a custom class field here. Now let me generate here getters and setters again. So I will Control A, okay, and okay. So we have got this, and let me also generate a toString. So alt insert toString method, okay. So market data provider is also here. Let me similarly create now a test class. Control C just for the name, and I will go here, alt insert Java class, and I will write test here. So here we are now with our test class. Now let's save some time here, and I will again copy from chapter 3. So I will copy both the unit test cases from chapter 3. I will do Control C and Control V. Oh, sorry, didn't get copied. Sorry. Okay, let me copy it again. Control C and okay. So we have copied this now, and let me make some changes according to chapter 11. I'll do Control Alt L first, and so because we have got this one private data provider, market data provider as our own object, so I will create it here using the constructor is equal to new market data provider, and I will provide it a name of routers. Okay, as you can see here, this is having this name field. Let's go back. Okay, I can even mark it as final. So always, because we are not going to change it and make it immutable. Now let's go to the setup method. Setup method, we need to change the name of this serialized file. So I'll mark it as this. I think rest everything is looking good in the setup method. Now let's go to our main serialization unit test case. So test with reference objects. Right. Okay. And also I'll change the name of the Pojo to use chapter 11. Okay. We are here, and the only thing left is to set the market data object with set market data provider with the market data provider we have declared here. Okay. So this is what we serialize it, including this object as well, the reference object as well. Now let's go to the test deserialize. Again, I will change it to with reference fields with reference object. Sorry. Okay, and let's change the name of this Java Pojo class that we are serializing back. So it should be here. Okay. Okay, so market data with reference objects is cast back to our deserialized object, and the rest all looks same, except we need to add one for market data provider. So I will just copy one from assert equals and paste it here, and we need to be expected is same as the market data provider that we have, and here the get market data provider. Okay, so this market data provider is this one which we have declared in the beginning of the test class. Okay, so let's run this test case first. I will test serialize first, and I expect it to fail. Okay, let me try this. So as expected, it failed with not serializable exception. And as we have discussed previously, that this is failing because this market data provider class, this doesn't implement serializable interface. So let's fix this quickly. We'll go back to market data provider class and just write those magic words, implement serializable. Okay, and showing me a warning here because I haven't declared. Alt enter constant field serial version UID. Okay, so now everything is looking good, and let me run this test case again. So see, it works fine, and we also have this file is also created here. So let me delete this and run the whole test case in one go. I will delete this. Okay, delete anyway. Okay. Now let's run this whole class. I again expect it to fail, which I will see that what's the reason there. So I run it, run the whole test class. So you see that the serialization works well. So, but our deserialization process failed. Although we see that the expected name is routers and actual is also name routers. So what is wrong here? Let's see. So it's failing here because once we deserialize this, we are doing assert equal on the actual object. So it actually it refers to the memory location. It should be exactly same object as it is there in the memory. So how we need to fix this? Let's go to market data provider implementation here. So we have provided all these private fields and constructors and all, but we didn't implement the two equals method, equals and hash code method, sorry. So let's implement that. So equals and hash code, again, I'll just take the default, finish. Now, once we have overridden this equals method, it means that it will check that whether the name is equal or not, same or not. If name is equal, then the two objects would be equal. Because whenever we create a new object using the new operator in Java, it's created separately in the heap, and which is having its own unique memory address. And if we don't implement the equals method in our class, so it will actually take that memory address and try to compare that object that we are comparing with. And of course, the new object that you are creating would be definitely different. So this is what we also learned in previous in our serialization topic, that whenever the deserialization is done, it actually creates the copy of the original object. It doesn't create the same object. So that's why we have to implement this equals method, and then it should run. So let's run this again. So run test deserialize, and this time it should work. So as expected, after implementing the equals, it all worked. So let's revise what we have done. We have created a Java Pojo class with having a reference of market data provider, which is another class reference. And this class reference can have other references and so on. But this is all taken care of with the Java JVM to serialize and deserialize it. So once we have this new class reference, we have to ensure that it implements serializable. And if we are doing any assertion on the equals method on the object deserialized, we have to implement equals method as well, equals and hash code at the same time. Then we wrote some test cases to test the same thing. We were able to set the market data provider here and serialize it to a file, and then deserialize it and assert equal the object that we got, which is a copy of the original object. But as we have already done the equals method, it will be this will pass. So guys, this was all about chapter 11, object graphs, and we learned that Java's default serialization process is fully recursive. So whenever we try to serialize an object, the serialization process try to serialize all the fields, primitives, and references with our class except static and transient fields. So transient fields is the topic of our next chapter, which we'll cover in chapter 12. So using transient keyword. So see you all in the next video.